doing a kind of a sunset picture here. Going to have intense glow of yellow down here around the house, the buildings there, and then this is going to be deep violet. So we'll see how this turns out. So I'm just pouring on some yellow here and working on smooth or hot press paper this time, just because I bought a roll or a pad of it by mistake. So I'm going to utilize it. So there I have my yellow in there. I had wet the paper. Turned the camera on a little late, but I had wet the paper, and now I'm just going to tip it around, kind of get it to flow for me. Let this dry, and then we'll come back in and put the other colors in. These little tonal paintings, they're fast, they're fun, and you learn quite a bit with them. So make sure you give it a try here. So let's see, it's I think I like what I got. I'm going to hit it with the hair dryer and see what happens. All right, my paper is dry, and we are ready to move on to the next step. Right here, you just might be able to barely see it. There's a fine line there. That's good. This is all going to be dark cloud cover here. And this is going to have a pink edge to it. So I'm going to start right here. I'm going to grab a little round brush. This is an Etcher round number 12. Let you see what that is there. Nice little brush, got a good point to it. I'm going to grab a little bit of permanent magenta and a little bit of core transparent pyro orange. And I'll just show you what this color is going to be here. Something about like that right there. And if I want a little more pink in it, I'll add a little more orange or a little more magenta. And so I'm just coming across here with kind of a ragged edge to the bottom of it. Actually, what I want to do is switch brushes, go with this larger 3/4 inch 1-stroke. And come in here and lay that across like so. Doesn't have to be real dark. Just enough. Just enough to make a difference in the yellow. Okay, so I'm going to flip this around to get that. I don't want a hard edge there at the bottom of it. A couple little ragged shapes there. Okay, and then this is the bulk of this is going to get covered up with a blue violet here in just a few moments. So right now I'm just laying her in. Just like that. Been painting several what I call tonalism paintings here lately, just kind of nocturnes a little bit, and they are fun, and they're really fairly simple to do because there's just not a lot to them, but they're powerful looking images. Okay, add a little more pink right there. So I'm going to let that dry, and we'll come back and do the rest. I've got this dry. Now I want to come in and put a violet in at the very top. And so I need to mix that up. I'm going to start with some cobalt blue right here. Quite a bit of pigment. I want it to be pretty intense. And then grab some of that magenta and see what we've got. It's already, I can tell it's already got too much reddish cast to it. I'm going to add a little more blue. I was amazed at how powerful cobalt blue is. There we go. That's what I want right there. So we're going to start in, and I want to feather this right down at the edge here. I don't want it to be too harsh. I'm going to start coming across here. Keep it nice and moist so that pigment flows good. That's your friend when you're doing this. And this behaves so much different working on this smooth paper, this hot press. And I realized it was hot press, but I thought, well, I've got it. I've got to use it up. I'm just going to see what it does. And it's different, but at the same time, and when it's all done, gives me a little different effect that I kind of like. Again, some more blue here. Thinking the blue is going to be my friend, but I want enough of a violet cast to it to make that yellow appear much brighter. And I got to get my value deep enough, as well as get enough violet going in it. A little more magenta. A little bit more as we come across. And now I'm going to hit it with just some pure blue, I think, just kind of get a nice grayed down feel to it. That doesn't make any sense, but with what I've got here, just intensifying the blue is going to gray it a little bit more. Okay, so now I'll do my little trick of painting itself. Just kind of rotate this around for a little bit. Blot up extra pigment and moisture that's on the tape. Tilt this one more time. Like you see, it's a little more violet down here, and it's grayer here because I got that yellow. I carried the yellow all the way up to there, but I think it's going to be okay. But it would have been interesting if I just kept the yellow right down there where I wanted it to be. This would all be violet, which might make it a little more dramatic. So yeah, you live and you learn. So let me get this dry and we'll hit the next step. Once again, I'm back. This is all dry. It's just laid down super smooth. Again, that's attributable to the surface of that paper, how smooth it is. Again, it's hot press. So now I've got land down here. If you aren't able to tell, we've got a little farm right here on top of this hill, as well as some trees popping up around it. And of course, this is kind of farm fields right here. So I've taken some violet that I had mixed up and added a little raw sienna, trying to get a kind of an earthy, a really great earthy tone. I'm just adding a little more raw sienna until I get it about where I want. And I think that's pretty close to what I'm looking for right there. We'll find out. I can always add a little more raw sienna to it. So let's come across here and make a decision. I got a pretty good arc on it, so I'm maybe a little too much on the hill. So I'm just going to bring that hill up a little bit higher. Come along like that. Again, I want it to be fairly dark to make that yellow pop. I'm going to come in here and just suggest the buildings. I'll be coming in, putting in a little more detail in the buildings here in a little bit. But right now I'm just kind of getting a feel for them in there. And they're all different kinds of buildings there. It's just a farm, so there's different buildings for different uses. Go like that. So I took a little bit of the crown off that ridge that it was on. I'll lay that in there, re-wet it, smooth it out. Now there's some darks that we need in here. Just a few places. Right up here is one right along the edge. Taking a 1/2 inch 1-stroke brush, put an edge of a field here, run up the hill, and it comes up and then gauges the farm up here, and then just kind of fades out over there. Got a line right here. These are just little marks. I mean, I know what they are, but more than anything, it's not important that people understand it. It just breaks up that foreground and gives you the suggestion of a field there. So I think that's going to work pretty good. Keep it simple. That's my motto. Clean that brush out. Grab me this etcher number 12 here, and I'm going to come in with, I think, just some moon glow for right now, and just work on these buildings a little bit. This brush gives you a nice point for doing detail. A couple little chimneys on that. Got a barn, got a light front to it here. Where that's bleeding down, I'm just going to drag it over and let it work its way into the foreground of the field. And we got a little bit of dark here, and this goes into something here, the hoop barn or something, I think, back there. Kind of hoop barn kind of looks like a Quonset hut. They're getting to be pretty popular anymore. All right, got this ragged mess happening here, so let's just kind of make that a little more organic. A couple lines to suggest some furrows in the fields there, something like that. Keep it nice and loose and artsy. Just like so. Just like so. Now that's coming along pretty good. We're going to just let that dry and do its thing, but while that's drying, I'm going to take some of this orange and thin it down a little bit. And I'm going to put, there's trees around this farm, and I'm going to put them in an orange, and then I'll put a few darker features in there with some moon glow here in just a second. Blot that out. It's a little more intense than I want. It's not bad, but just a little too much. Make the trunk come down. Now if you want to soften that a little bit, and let me just take and zoom in for you. Scoot this over so you can see. Okay, so I got a damp brush. Now I'm just going to go in here and lift up a little bit of this orange, kind of soften the edges a little. And then there's more over here, more trees. So I can take the excess from that, bring it down to here. Pick up a little more of that. You can even take and just very carefully lift some of that out there. Don't get too fast and furious with it, or you will regret it. Drop a little more of that in. A little bit there. A little bit here. Again, just little quick tree shapes. Not even necessarily trying to match what I'm seeing in the photograph here that you don't get to see, but I'd see it. This was a scene the other night coming home from, I was in a town about 30 miles away, and the sun was setting in front of me, and the sunset obviously was very beautiful, but then I had all these little, these little farms out there, and just caught my attention, so I'll just take pictures of the windshield. Okay, while this is wet, I'm going to just drop a little bit of moon glow in here, start things out. Some of it's kind of hard, so I'm going to probably have to wait till I get it dry. We'll put a little bit in. Okay, I like that. Now I'm going to take a little bit of cad yellow here, clean my brush really good because I don't want this to be dirty. Get some of this cad yellow. Loosen the hair out of my brush there. And I want to just take and put a little bit of a glow right along the horizon there. Just like that. Not too much, just enough. Just little things like that to make your picture really exciting and have some drama in it. Throw a little orange in there just because I can. Some more of that moon glow. Come in here and put some detail in. All this I put down earlier while it was wet is gone. That's okay. Okay, so we got some interesting stuff happening there in front. We'll see what it looks like when it's all dry. Again, this smooth paper is going to kind of just take over, I think, but change things for me. Still feeling this needs to be a little darker right in here. I'm going to make a couple more marks and then dry it and then come back and work on those trees a little bit. Everything is dry now. So I'm going to just do my detailing. Start with this round again. I want to get some more dark in this on these buildings. And now take a little phthalo green and a little alizarin crimson, mix them together, and I'll get a nice dark that has a black appearance to it. But it has more life than like a neutral tint or a Payne's gray. So I just need some really good contrast here. So that rich dark in there will serve that purpose. Work on this house shape here a little bit. They're starting to contrast now. I'm actually going to take that barn roof up just a little higher. Something like that there. Don't be afraid to make changes that you feel like it needs to tell the story. There's some landscaping trees there, little junipers or cedars or something. Okay. I'm going to switch now. This was that etcher number 12 that I've been using. Set it aside. I'll grab a etcher number 10. Actually, let me do this. I've got a whole set of these brushes here, and I've only used 2 of those. So let me go down and get one of these little ones out here. This is number 3. Let's see what it does. When I first got these brushes, I wasn't convinced they'd be of a lot of use to me because they're for painting small, but I realized they allow me to get pretty detailed, and I do like that. Yeah, they do a nice job for that. Just need to be careful we don't get too caught up in detail here. Nice thin little strokes for the tree trunks there. Now there's a orange that the foliage areas or the limb areas of the tree are, they tend to be kind of a pale orange to a gold, I guess. And then the little smaller tree branches are kind of a deeper orange, and then of course the heavy trunks and the heaviest branches are, like I say, this dark that I had mixed up here. So right now I'm just mixing up some of the orange. We got the foliage look. I mean, it's not foliage because there's no foliage on there, but it's just the little fine limbs get backlit like that, and they just glow orange. So I am just putting in a few more. Give it just a little more believability. I think that's looking pretty good. I like it. And again, you don't want to get too carried away at this stage of the game. Just make it fun, make it believable. And again, I'm going to come back with some of this orange here. Put it in with a little of that yellow, because I just see, it's an optical illusion, but if you paint the optical illusion, it makes it believable. And that's, get some of that orange, like whatever light there is reverberating off the earth there, and has that orange glow just like you have up here in these trees. When I look at the photo straight on with my eyes wide open, I don't see it. But if I look with my periphery, I see a little glow there. So that's what you want to do to catch that realistic effect. All right, set that little brush down. He's performed pretty well. All right, and I'm going to grab my kind of a mop round here, and I'm going to put in just a little more pink over this here. Not too crazy with it, but just a little bit. Soften it up. It'll lighten up as it dries. All right. That's now got a nice glow going on right back there. I like that. So I want to run the hair dryer over it, peel the tape off, and I'll be back. All right, I have it here all done, and it reads just about like I wanted it to. Again, got that nice glow. Everything is smoothed out. So I want to take and sign it. And I'll just mix up some of this dark that I've got here. Use this little brush from Etcher, number 3. It'll give me nice details for my signature. And there we have it. So we we've come to the end of this one here. Pretty simple subject. My takeaway for you would be, this is a good example of large shapes. We've got this large violet shape in the sky there, and then we've got this golden strip across here, and then we've got really I think this illustrates well the concept of what a shape is. With our mind, we would think, okay, well, the land is one shape and the buildings are another. But if we go by values, we look at the photograph, we look at the painting, the land, the foreground of the land, as well as the buildings, because they're a very similar value, we just lump them all together and they become one shape. And yes, in the painting, this is slightly darker than the foreground, but for what we're trying to do, the way we want to term this is that is one shape. So you got 3 different shapes here broken up basically by value: the violet, the yellow, and then the foreground there. And I referred to the colors of those rather than the value, only because it's simpler to say, this is a violet shape and this is a yellow shape. But in reality, this is like the darkest shape down here. This is the middle value shape, and then this is the lightest shape. So, all right. I hope you have enjoyed this. I enjoy sharing with you. If you got any comments on it, I'd like to hear them. Just make them nice, okay? If you want to give this a whirl and give it a try, paint it, by all means post it. I'd love to see it, and I bet you do a good job on it. So, all right, till next time, this is Spencer saying thank you for watching. Bye-bye.